Hey everyone, welcome back. So today's episode of this podcast, to be honest, we're going to talk about something that people talk about pretty much all the time, which is enjoying the process. I'm sure you've heard about this. I'm sure people have mentioned this to you. I'm sure you've probably mentioned it to yourself. Enjoying the process is something that, of course, we all strive for, especially when we're in the process of obtaining our goals. But enjoying the process is something that, at least for myself personally and in my goal setting and manifesting journey, at times it would get me a little bit annoyed. You're working so hard, you're dedicating your time and your energy to the creation of your goals. And then people would say, hey, just enjoy the process. Or you'd hear, manifestors and wellness coaches telling you, just enjoy the process. And it's like, yeah, that's great. That's fun. That's all, gives me a nice feeling at times. But sorry to say, I kind of just want my stuff. I want my goals to come into creation. I want, all this hard work to pay off. And, that's a real feeling. But one thing that I will mention is that, to be honest, my personal thought process and feelings towards the idea of enjoying the process has changed a lot in the past couple of years. And the transition of my mindset changing has allowed, I believe, me to change, and it's allowed my work ethic and the goals that I create to change as well. So today what we're going to talk about is just a little bit of how we can allow ourselves to enjoy the process, and how we can take that, feeling of enjoyment and that feeling of satisfaction in our current life to help us facilitate the life that we truly desire. So one of the main things that has allowed me to trust and enjoy the process is to just trust. Right? Just know that you're doing the work, you're taking the action, you're taking that, directed attention towards the manifestation of your goals, and sit back and relax a little bit. Trust that, God, source, the universe, that energy, whatever you want to call it, is working in your favor and creating situations and circumstances, whether you may be directly involved in it or directly aware of it or not. It's always working and conspiring towards the highest good for each and every one of us. And that includes the creation of the life that you desire. Number two is, of course, work hard, right? As, a lot of the times entrepreneurs, we work 16, 17, 18-hour days, sometimes for a consistent period of time. And that's fair. I was definitely one of those people that worked like crazy, worked until all hours of the day, all hours of the night. But we also have to understand that concept of working yourself ragged is something that has been ingrained in a lot of us, mainly through the Industrial Revolution, and it's just an ideology that's kind of been maintained throughout time, right? Because during the Industrial Revolution, of course, there was machines and there was manufacturing, and the production and the development of North America and other developed countries all over the world was dependent on the creation of stuff. So of course, they didn't want us to rest. They didn't want machines to stop working. They wanted things to go kind of on that assembly line of production and assembly line of the creation of wealth, right? But as humans, we don't work that way. Tom Brady, obviously, a lot of us are very familiar with Tom Brady. He famously said that he gets at least 9 hours of sleep every single night. And a lot of people would think, wow, a major athlete, how are you sleeping for that many hours on a consistent basis? Don't you need to get up and train? Don't you need to, do your workouts at 5 a.m. in the morning? And yeah, I'm sure he does do his workouts, but he makes sure that sleep is a priority, right? That rest period, that time of relaxation and recuperation is really important to allow you to enjoy the process, right? If you're not feeling good, through the work that you're doing, and you're doing things with, tired and anxiety ridden and on 10 cups of coffee, you're not gonna feel good in the creation of your dreams and goals. And when you get it, it's gonna be like, okay, cool, yeah, I got the new car, I got that job I was trying to create, I got the money, but I'm exhausted, I'm tired, my relationships relationships are struggling. I don't feel good mentally, right? So it's really important to focus on overall wellness, overall health, to ensure that you can have the best and optimal body, mind, and spirit in the creation of your goals. My last point is believe and trust that you have the ability to create the life that you desire, right? A lot of manifesting comes down to what's in here. If you don't believe it, if you don't understand it, if you don't trust in your own God-given ability within yourself, it's going to be really difficult for you to take that action and apply that to the creation of your goals and desires, right? One thing that you really have to work to combat with all of this and that belief principle and factor is doubt and fear, right? Doubt and fear is something that, you know, we all experience here and there. But one thing that has worked really well for me is to argue that fear, argue that doubt. So if you have a message or something that comes into your mind and you're saying, yeah, I want to be this big successful entrepreneur, and there's this little thought in your head that says, but, you know, I can't do that. That doesn't make sense. Argue that. Right? Maybe even write it down and say, okay, why can't I do that? Why am I different from any other person all over the world that was probably in the same position that I'm in at some point, but took those actions and took those steps to create the life that they desire? Why am I any different? So if it helps to argue that fear and to argue that doubt, over time, that voice in the back of your head is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Eventually, when you get the ability to ignore that doubt and ignore that fear, that is what really allows you to sit back and relax and enjoy the process, because your goals and your desires and the things that you're trying to manifest, they're not maybe, they're not hopefully, but it's a certainty, right? And you can do the work, you can do the actions, and trust that things are working in your favor to create that which you desire. That's all I have today. I hope that helps you to take your time, do the work that you want to do, and enjoy the process. Take care. Hope to see you again soon.